Speaking of the Burma tragedy, hi, my name is Tuan Jo, and I'm a lifetime Burmese freedom fighter and a Burmese scholar. Today, I would like to inform the world about what is happening in Burma and asking for immediate help from the UN, US, and European Union because Burmese people are facing a great danger of their lifetime to survive under extreme conditions. We are facing two enemies. The first one is the Burmese military, notoriously known as the Damaro, which has been slaughtering the innocent unarmed civilians who rejected the military coup. The second enemy is the great threat from COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. Before the military coup on 1st February 2021, the democratically elected government led by President Win Myint and State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi managed to face COVID-19 on its second wave. They organized very well, and the people enthusiastically volunteered to participate to fight against the pandemic together with the NLD government. But after the military coup, people not only denounced the coup in towns and cities, but also around the country, including villages. Millions of people poured into the streets and demanded to respect the 2020 election results. Doctors, nurses, engineers, bureaucrats, workers, farmers, artists, movie stars, and transgenders marched on the street and demanded democratic rule, not a military dictatorship. The military responded with brutality. More than 931 unarmed peaceful demonstrators were shot dead within 5 months, and more than 5,333 are in custody. Every night at 8 p.m., people have shown their defiance by hitting drums and bowls, not only for days, but months after months. Now their anti-coup activities has reached to 6 months duration. Every day at night, troops rush into the streets and shot apartments, which has lights on. Apartments where drums were beaten have been targeted. Soldiers smashed into the entrance doors, and people were arrested and beaten. Some were shot in the head. On the streets, police and soldiers smashed the cars and motorcycles without any reason, which were parked on the roadside. They robbed the shops and restaurants too. They took motorcycles and loading all on the army trucks. It was a total anarchic action and looting committed by the military troops. After the military coup, there is no law existed in Burma. People have no chance to express their right and protect their property. They live in fear without protection from authorities. Many people became the victims of the military coup. The army and police who have duties to protect its people changed as terrorist group who carry guns and killing and robbing people without mercy. On July 15, 20 villages near Minta town in the west of Burma were attacked by soldiers. Among them, a village called Yin village faced a tragedy. All men hands were tied on their backs and were beaten to death. Altogether, a total of 40 men were murdered. It was a mass murder, and this heinous crime proved that Burmese military has no ethics and humanity. In Yangon, the notorious prison called Insane has been overcrowded with prisoners. Many prisoners are now infected with COVID-19, including political prisoners. Insane prison was built for maximum 5,000 prisoners, but the current population in prison is more than 14,000. NLD Central Committee members U Nyawin, U Hantamien, and former 88 generation leader Komya A were affected. with the disease. Sadly, on 20 July 2021, Un Yang Win passed away. On July 23rd, after 3 days, prisoners from Insein prison singing a revolutionary song and demonstrated against the military council because of inadequate handling of current COVID-19 outbreak in the prison. The demonstration was loudly heard from outside the prison, but the military trucks went into the prison and beaten the prisoner mercilessly. Around more than 20 people were dead, including 7 women. Many people were injured, and the strike leaders were put in solitary confinement. Doctors who helped the COVID victims have been arrested by the soldiers. Private hospitals and medical clinics have been targeted by the military council. And doctors who participate in the civil disobedience movement were searched and arrested under Code 505B. Their crimes, their clinics were shut down, and their medical equipments and medicines were confiscated. A brilliant medical doctor, Chachotet from Mandalay, was arrested and beaten by the soldiers because he joined the CDM movement. People who are suffering from the disease are not accepted by hospital because all beds in the hospitals are full with patients. People who are staying in their homes and suffering from the disease cannot buy oxygen from the factories because the soldiers block it. Many dead bodies are now lined up at the cremation center. The disease is spreading rapidly, and people are helpless to resist it. Many doctors and nurses are hiding and secretly helping people who are in need. They are risking their lives to help people. It is the reality today. Capturing medical doctors and blocking people from buying oxygen will lead to fuel the outbreak, allow more people to die, and it will spread to the neighboring country. Military coup in Burma is now become a regional threat. Right now, China and Thailand start to find an infection from Burmese migrant workers in their soil. The military council is intentionally prohibiting doctors to give treatment to patients, and blocking oxygen to private use is leading to a mass murder. It was like 2007 when Burma was hit by a disaster cyclone called Nargis. More than 100,000 died and millions became homeless. People reached out to give food and clothing were arrested, and nearby US and French military ship offered to help because they have 500 beds on their ships. But military rejected their offer and let the people die. It is the mentality of the Burmese generals. They do not care about people. They only care about not losing their power. I want the UN, US, and the European Union to take concrete action against the terrorist military council, who have no shame on killing its own people and rob their properties. Statements after statements issued by the UN, US, and EU using the words contamination, gravely concerned, warning are not working. The military thugs never care about warning without consent, concrete action. They only understand the use of force because it is the only method they are using on its own people. The UN should use military intervention and send peacekeeping troops into Burma immediately. It is time to protect Burmese people who have been bullied and killed by the terrorist army. UN has a duty to protect the unarmed civilian from slaughtering by the Burmese military thugs. Right now, Burmese political prisoners' lives are in danger. ICRC need to intervene and inspect the prison condition. It is time for the UN, US, and the European Union to prove that they really want to see a democratic system flourish around the world or not. Burma is the test model for the West to prove that they really have the power for real change in Burma. The Burmese people bravely stood up to the tyranny and proved that they want a democratic system. They need urgent help from the US, European Union, and the UN by holding signboards which has written the words R2B, which mean responsibility to protect. On the other hand, the military council will get support from Russia and China, even though there is a arm embargo on Burma. Russia will take benefit by selling arms and ammunition to slaughter Burmese people without a doubt. Russia is an evil Satan who supports rogue regimes and dictators for its own benefit because the Russian leader Putin never respects people's choice and he himself wants to be a lifetime leader without people's approval. He captured his opponents and ran the election without a rival. He used force to rule the country like May Online. I believe without the military intervention from US and EU and the UN, the cause for democratic rule in Burma will not come to reality in decades. There is no time for consideration that the Burmese general will respect people's choice. They are wolves covered with sheepskin. It is time for the Western world to prove that they really want to see the democratic rule in Burma or not. Russia is backing Min Aung Hlaing, so without UN, USA and EU intervention, Burma will slip into the trying hand again like in the 1990 election. In US and EU, life is precious, but in Burma, life is so cheap. We need your help to establish peace and democratic rule. Enough is enough. We need concrete action. We do not want lip service anymore. Thank you.